Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you my white whale, the SMSL Mini5. Now, if you don't know the reference, it's Moby Dick, and the white whale is what you've been hunting your whole life. And I finally found a speaker amp with a good headphone out in a small size. And not only is it a small size, here's an SA36. It is minuscule. 50 watts per channel, this claims. So the SA50 and the SA36 share the same chassis. So the SA50 is the same size. Look at the size difference we're looking at here. This son of a bitch is mini. It is called the Mini5, and it should be. Now, how do they pull that off? Well, I don't know how they pull it off. I will tell you right off the bat what this will do, though. This son of a bitch gets hot. Like hot. Like, should I return this? This is hot. I've had to exchange one because the first one I got so hot, the smell of burning came out of it. So, but if you look at any of the reviews, they're going to be like, yeah, this gets hot. You get used to it. Now, front has power on off. It's got a 3.5mm headphone out. It's got one big shiny knob. So shiny. The back has a 3.5mm audio in. The right side is a 19-volt power in. And here's the transformer, which, by the way, I don't want to unplug it. The transformer is bigger than the actual amp. So, there you go. This is a 5.3 amp, 19-volt output. That's silly. But you plug it in. Oh, actually, let me continue. This doesn't have standard 5-way binding posts like a normal. In other words, because it's so small, they can't put RCAs and binding posts for banana plugs. So it's got to use a 3.5mm input, and it comes with one of these. Now, if you've ever worked at alarms, security, or commercial audio, you've seen these before. And they just plug in like that. And they unplug, and then you take a screwdriver. Of course, I shoved it in my pocket. Of course, it comes with a screwdriver, but here's mine, for example. Where you just, you unscrew these 4 screws. It opens up little gateways, and you put your hot and ground, and these are sticking out too far. Do not do like that. These are just soldered, and I had them already built, so I shoved them in there. And you would shove them in there until there was just insulation showing on the back, and you tighten them down, in the right order. It says the order here. Right positive ground, left positive ground. You attach them, and then go boom, and you run to your speakers. Now, everything will reach. Plug in. I'm using my XDA up here, which is RCA outs. So I have this adapter cable, which is just RCA females, and then a 3.5mm. Because, crazy. Gotta have all these adapters. Plug that in. And we're ready to rock and roll. And I would shut the lights off if I thought it would help, but instead I'll unplug the dial. And you turn this on, red like the devil, right? Now when it's red, that means it's on, and it means speaker amps are running. And that means it's gonna get hot. Luckily, when you plug in a headphone, this is just an adapter. Actually, it's a very nice 1/4 inch to right angle 3.5mm HOSA adapter. When you plug this in, green. Actually, one of those LEDs is dead. Alright, anyway, it goes green, indicating that it's shutting off the heat-generating crazy amps, and it gets absolutely cool to the touch, and it runs headphones better than the SAP 2. It's, I'd say, on par, or even better than the SMSL 793 as far as power goes. Obviously, it doesn't have a DAC built in, but if you're looking for a straight headphone amp without any speakers involved, I'm going to recommend this still. Here we go. 560s. Hard to drive bastards. Planars. Got my beautiful adapter. I'll put the knob back on. I took the knob off because you're supposed to see it through that crack, and it doesn't really work. Like, it'll turn red. Now, you hear the speakers go pump. But, so yeah. That could be engineered a little better. the Ruby Girls, and we could play some... These headphones are shaking in my hand. Because it's not just... It'll play it. It'll play them well. I've looked at the specs. It doesn't have, like, tremendous headphone specs. But on high gain on my EO9K, I gotta have it, like, half volume to get these to run. And it runs these... Yeah, half gain on this pushes planars. And cleanly. Like, if I go to a silent, so I have like silent test waves where just there's nothing playing, but it keeps all the equipment involved running. So it's just silence. There isn't a static, hiss, pop, nothing. So clean. Just a clean headphone amp, finally. A clean and powerful headphone amp. They didn't hold back. If you've got IEMs or something, you may not want to use this. Because this thing will blow... I mean... Any amp will blow up anything. But this, finally, someone said, you know what? Fuck it. Put like one little baby resistor on it. That's loud. Yeah. Anything past half on like 560s is... You're going to lose your hearing. So, now let's unplug the headphones. Lower the volume for the love of God. And then we'll turn it up. And these speakers are not available... In fact, don't even tell anyone I'm doing this, because it's completely illegal. Completely illegal. Yeah, halfway volume on speakers, and these, which I'm not going to say what they are, because what I'm doing is illegal. But they're not super efficient, but they are getting moved. I believe the 50 watt per channel that this is outputting. I believe it. And now, just like all T-amps, although... If it was a T-amp, it wouldn't be getting hot. So I'm a little confused about what they're actually, what the chip is in this, or how they're implementing it. Because heat is usually not a thing on the, like, this SA36, you could run at maximum power. Or the SA50, you could just run at maximum. And it never gets warm. So the fact that this is smaller, I don't know if the size has to do with it, or if they're just using a different implementation of the chip. Yeah, so... Very competent speaker amp. Again, if I play silence, which I have speaker test, no headphone test, no test waves, yes. I have like an hour's worth of silence, which is the greatest thing ever. Or I don't. No, that's not it. Anyway, I have an hour's worth of silence. You just play silence, you turn it up. You don't hear hissing or crackling or anything bad. Yeah, just pause it. Full volume. Nothing. Dead silent. Just dead silent. So I don't know. I mean, I guess when you make the deal with the devil, to have something this small be as good as it is for all these things, you have to have a trade-off. And the trade-off is hot. It's going to get hot. Even with nothing playing. If it's just red light on, sitting here, volume down, it's going to get hot. Like you're going to touch and go, shit, what should I do with this? When you plug headphones in, red light turns green, it cools off. You shut it off at night, it cools off. It's fine. So, the only negative is it gets hot. When it's not getting hot, it's doing amazing things with sound. The fact that this gets cool when you're running headphones also makes me think it's not doing the standard, you know, when you plug headphones into the front of like a receiver like that, the receiver's got 100 watt per channel outputs in the back. And all it does when you plug headphones in is it says, okay, disable those, but bring that 100 watts per channel up to the front here and run it through a series of resistors, and then the resistors bring it down and down and down and down. And that screws up impedance and loads, and they're never as good as just a straight dedicated headphone amp. So when you plug this in and it gets cool, it makes me believe that these crazy 50 watt per channel amps are not even powering these headphones. So the question now becomes, is half of this a headphone amp and half of this a speaker amp? I don't see any other way they could do that. It would just get hot and then run your headphones. So now it's going to get cold and run your head. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't want to understand, all right? You don't question things like this. You just sit back and go, thank you. Thank you, devil, for making this possible. Yeah, absolutely a recommended headphone amp. And a recommended speaker. Finally, a recommended speaker amp. Again, lower it before you unplug, because that's what switches. And if you have it up, and then switch it. And look how tiny it is. I didn't think we were going to get tinier and good. So, yeah. I mean, there's no other options. There's no, like, input switching. You'd have to do something over here with a A, B, C, RCA switch. But, you know, again, with the right angle power, SMSL, that's their, seems to be their trademark, is have everything else come perfectly straight into the back of their units. Except for the power. Let's fuck people up with that. My White Whale. A good headphone amp with a good, well, good speaker amp with a good headphone out. I don't know which I like more. I don't know if I like the fact that it plays speakers like crazy good, or the fact that it plays headphones and then can also play speakers crazy good. It probably can't even fit a 1/4-inch adapter in the front of it because there's probably so much circuitry piled around this. I gotta find a picture of the inside of it. Look that up. Wait for it. Yeah. She's getting, like, she's already warm. Like, warmer than this would ever have gotten. And in about 10 more minutes, it's gonna be... Is something wrong with it? And there just isn't. Unless you smell something burning, it's probably fine. It's just sucking power out of the wall and turning it into magic. So I haven't done any small amps recently, and I shouldn't have to after this. Amazing. Amazing little thing. Could we get sadder Evangelion music? Alright. Power off. There's a little bit of a pop. Pop on. Pop off. I could live with that. For the size and what it does.